So, what are the Vedas? They're the oldest sacred scriptures of Hinduism. And there are four Vedas, as I told you, that Veda put them, divided the knowledge into four parts, four books: the Rigveda, the Yajurveda, the Samaveda, and the Atharvaveda. I'll explain them later. They are considered Aparusha, as I said, not of human origin, and are revered as Shruti, something that is heard, so the rishis could hear them. They're not their own making. They heard it, and then they remembered it, and then they passed it on. And then Vedvyasa
Mm.
put them down in written form.
Couldn't the Shruti also mean that it was just verbally transmitted? So they heard it
Sh-
like from their fathers or something, like they
Shruti is,
heard it from their grandfather.
yeah. So Shruti, the beginning, the rishis heard it from somewhere outside, Aparusha, outside human experience, and then they
Mm.
pass it on. But they heard it also,
Mm.
so that is also Shruti. And then when
Mm.
they pass
Okay.
it on, their next generation heard it. That is also Shruti.
Yeah.
Shruti. So this entire
All right.
tradition is called Shruti.
Mm.
Mm.
Interesting. And also, like, is there any, well, we can, like, if we talk spiritually, we can say, that it was like a vision or it was like in a trance state that they hear
Yes.
these,
Yeah.
these, this knowledge or whatever. But, people would argue and also say, that was just like some alien beings, some supernatural, terrestrial beings,
Yeah.
not terrestrial beings who gave this knowledge.
Yeah. This is a very believable theory, but why this is rejected is because the rishis themselves wrote that they heard
Mhm.
it. So it is testimony, their testimony, that
Okay.
how they got this knowledge. So they said they
Yeah.
heard it. Now, heard from where? Aliens? I don't know,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
they heard it.
we'll
Could
guess we'll
be
never
aliens.
know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be like ghosts, spirits.
Uh, I don't know. I have no comments on that.
Nobody knows. All right. Let's go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So the four Vedas. Rigveda, it is the okay. So it is very popularly taught as Rigveda is the oldest Veda, and then came Yajurveda, Samveda, and Atharvaveda.
Hmm.
But this is not chronological. Some Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharvaveda.
Okay.
They're not put chronologically. Yeah. So this was all one
No.
piece of knowledge, right? And then it was divided into four parts by uh, Vedavyasji, Vedavyasa.
Mm.
But this was all just one chunk of knowledge. So it doesn't have chronology. Now, where it does have chronology is there were additions made later by the
Okay.
rishis themselves, and
Hmm.
the latest additions were and as the additions kept happening, we kept saying that this is new. So the latest additions are in Atharvaveda, which is considered the latest, the last Veda, the newest Veda,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Rigveda
Hmm.
is considered the oldest. And it is true to some extent that some hymns in the Rigveda are extremely ancient, so ancient that we
Hmm.
don't even know that how old, maybe
Yeah.
20,000 BC old.
Yeah. Absolutely possible. If it was an oral tradition, we know that we don't know.
Yeah.
Same with some, like all this myth we have, it's still here in the West with the story of the princess and the dragon. We don't know how old it is. It's one of the oldest stories. It's got very confused or
Yeah.
it gets distorted, by
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
because, if you always tell us and some people add something different or some new or whatever, they don't remember exactly and then it gets distorted. But yeah, we don't know how
Hmm.
old all these things are.
Right. Yeah. So the popular belief is that they're chronological. Rigveda is the oldest, and Atharvaveda is the newest. But most of the knowledge uh, is from the same time period, which is considered 10,000 BC. So the Rigveda is mostly
know
just
why
hymns.
Do you know why they say it's 10,000 BC?
Now again, just a part of the tradition. This is what we've been told
It has been
through the
told.
generations.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is what there's also some evidence, scientific evidence. The evidence for scripture goes back to 5,000 BC old. But then when we have to apply logic, that when did writing come to being, and when did we start to lose the? So this came to being because there was a fear that this would vanish as humanity kept degrading, which did vanish. Most of the Vedas are now gone. I mean, the hymns of the Vedas and the parts of the Vedas are now gone because we had so many invaders who burnt all our libraries and took the knowledge away. Now there's like 20 to 30. Now we have only 20 to 30% of what originally was.
Yeah. This is also interesting because like the first writings we have, what we found in history, the first, kind of writing, cuneiform or something like with these just like some stripes that you hammer into stone. Described like deals, like someone gets 10 sheep and the other guy gets a sack of rice or whatever. Yeah. And the very late they start to write down stories and hymns and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it also makes you wonder like how long was it there before it was written down?
Yeah, well, again, it is these topics are very debated.
No.
There's a lot of debate, and especially the Vedic civilization is highly debated. Who were the Aryans, the ones who wrote the Vedas? Who were they? Were they invaders or were they indigenous Indians? There's a lot of debate around that also, but we're not getting to that. You can choose to believe the time period. You can choose to believe if Aryans existed or not. I am not concerned with that in this particular presentation because I don't want to get into controversy. So I'm just going to talk about the knowledge part of it. Okay.
Yeah, just for the information of viewers. You can all decide whatever you want.
I'm just concerned about the philosophy and my personal belief of who the Aryans were and how old are the Vedas. I keep to myself.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So the Rigveda mostly just has hymns and prayers to the deities. So they just praised the deity, and there are like 4 main deities, which is the sun, the fire, and Rudra, which is a form of Shiva, and Vayu, which is air, and 1 or 2 more, like Soma. Soma is the drink that made them immortal, and it is basically the strongest psychedelic ever. So it made them immortal and whatnot. But now we don't have it anymore. Soma.
Oh, do we?
Maybe Donald Trump has it. Oh, fuck it. Okay, so Yajurveda. Yajurveda. It talks about rituals and sacrifices. Samaveda talks about how they were chanted. And the Samaveda is also where music comes from. Samaveda gives us Indian classical music, Indian classical dance. All of it comes from Samaveda. And Atharvaveda is spells and prayers. And Atharvaveda also gives us architecture and economics and all of that.
Okay. And there are real spells written in there, like
spells. Yeah. So that is
like
so that is yeah. So this is also the form the where Tantra comes out of. There is a very popular idea that Tantric lineage and Vedic lineage are separate. They became separate, but Tantra also comes out of the Vedas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Later, they had
Makes
to be
sense.
separated because Vedic knowledge was more popular. And then when you gave them tantric ideas, they could not digest it because not everybody is made for all sorts of knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So it reminds me of the PGM a bit. I don't know if you know it, the Greek magical papyri. Also very interesting. We have a lot of stuff about the Mithras cult in there and very, very strange spells. Just guys, check it out. This is weird stuff, but also has like a really profound meaning of knowledge in it where you can derive it. Yeah. Where yeah, it's pretty cryptic and it sounds just like a really strange trip someone had, but you can find some insight in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all of the ancient scriptures sound super trippy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So do check it out. What was it? PGM?
PGM, yeah, Greek magical papyri.
All right. Maybe you could do an episode about it later.
We
Like,
will for sure.
yeah. So getting back to the Vedas. So the Vedas uh, talk a lot about ritual, sacrifice, but also about spiritual inquiry. Who am I? Who am I not? Where do I come from? Where will I go? How was the world created? What was before existence? All of that.
Mm.
Moving on. The structure of the Vedas. So the Vedas has four major parts, or this is for the constituents of Vedas. The first is Samhita, which are the hymns and the mantras. It is called a Mantra Samhita. The full name of it is Mantra Samhita. Samhita is collection. So the collection of mantras and hymns. And then there is Brahman. Now the meaning of Brahman today is priestly class, Brahman.
Yeah.
But here, Brahman is the instructions to perform to chant the mantras or to perform the sacrifice or the ritual. The instructions are called Brahman. And the knower of this instruction was also called Brahman. Later,
Okay.
not in the Vedas. Later, they came to identify as Brahmins. Brahmins, not Brahmanas, Brahmins.
Okay. And is this already is this like the spells we talked about earlier? Could it be part of this Brahman, this ritualistic instructions?
How you perform that? Okay, the spells were given in Samhita, but how are you supposed to do that is explained in the Brahman.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay.
And this Aranyaka, it always this entire culture, in Vedic culture, it blows my fucking mind because Aranyakas, you see, are forest treatises, and so what Aranyak literally means forest. Aranya literally means forest, and Aranyaka is the knowledge that belongs to the forests. So the rishis went to the forests and meditated and there they realized or put down the meaning of the rituals, the symbolism of the rituals. Why to do ritual at all? What is the meaning behind them? If I'm putting something into the fire, or if I'm cutting an animal down, then what is the logic behind what is the symbology behind that? Now Aranyakas are A, not available anymore. Some are not. Most are not. B, they were strictly meant for a certain group of people.
Mhm.
Only those who went into the forests and strictly followed that lifestyle of giving up everything, becoming an ascetic, and live in the forests. So they went to the forests, entered the trance. And I tried reading the Aranyakas, and it says
That's
it is again
what's left. What you can.
it is extremely cryptic. I couldn't understand a thing. It was like, and then we exhaled and entered the other man who inhaled. So it includes stuff like you exhale, another man inhales, and you enter his body. I don't know. It is cryptic. It could be literally that I enter another man's body, which is possible according to yoga. But I don't know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Aranyakas are forest treatises,
Wow.
which
Okay.
talk about the symbology behind the rituals. And then there are the
Okay.
Upanishads. Upanishads, as I said, are towards the end of the Vedas, which are the philosophy, which is the essence of the Vedas, the knowledge essence, gyan,
Mm. Yeah.
spiritual insights. And since they are
This
at the end of
is
the Vedas, they're called Vedanta. There are 18 Upanishads. 18 Upanishads.
18.
Uh, pause. Pause. This is where I'll cut.
Can I pause?
No, but we'll just cut it down. Upanishads. Fuck. 108.
Yeah.
And there are 108 Upanishads.
108. Mystical
Yeah.
number. Sacral number.
Yes.
Comes down to
Yes.
9.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
yeah.
Right.
And about 10 principal Vedas, main are Upanishads. 10 of them are most important. Okay. The Upavedas, which is the subsidiary Vedas. So Veda literally means knowledge. And this knowledge that is derived from the bigger chunk of knowledge is called Upaveda. And they become
Mm-hmm.
separate uh, studies, separate fields of study.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ayurveda.
Yes, we all
Everybody
know the
has
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda, yeah.
Yes.
Ayurveda comes out of,
Right.
I believe, Atharvaveda.
But it comes out of all the Vedas. But then you have like,
Ayurveda specifically comes out of Atharvaveda.
okay.
Yeah. Maybe it has some knowledge from other Vedas as well, but mostly from Atharvaveda.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And Ayur is life, Ayu, age or life. So Ayurveda, study of life and medicine. This is even this is lost. Most of it is lost. We have some, and we practice this the most. This is the most common. These are
Yeah.
as good as gone. The rest.
Wow.
So Dhanurveda, science of warfare and archery. This Dhanurveda has had atomic weapons, also weapons of mass destruction, which
Yeah.
which we hear of in the epics like Mahabharata, the war of Mahabharata.
Right.
This had that.
What we talked about in our Full Metal Alchemist episode. Check this out, guys. There we have a little thing at the end where we talk about what is it called? Brahmanstra? No, the weapon.
Brahmastra.
You remember?
Brahmastra. Yeah,
Brahmastra.
Brahmastra.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the weapon. Yeah. Check that out.
Yeah. So Dhanurveda. Dhanur means Dhanur literally means bow. So you know Dhanur Asan. The ones who practice asanas would know
Right.
Dhanurasana is the bow pose. Dhanu literally means bow.
Mm.
So because war used to happen with bow and arrow, but even the arrows were atomic arrows. It destroyed cities. One arrow could destroy cities. So that is Dhanurveda. We don't have it anymore.
Intense.
Most of it we don't.
Intense
Some of
arrows.
it we have, some of it we do have. But
How
most of
heavy
it do
were
not.
these arrows?
I did not go into the weight of the arrows, so how much they could destroy. Okay. Okay.
Maybe they were missiles. But yeah,
Could
we
be.
know.
I
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah. So Gandharva Ved. Gandharva are mythical beings who live in heavens, and they are musicians of gods who live in heavens, who live in the heaven. Gandharva.
Okay.
And Gandharva Ved is
Gandhra.
a science of
Gandhar. Gandharva.
Gandharva, and
That
it comes.
sounds already like Scandinavian, like Celtic mystic thing. Gandharva. Like
Yeah,
Jörmungandr.
you're more.
It sounds very similar.
Yarmunkandar. Okay.
Gandharva. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Okay.
Gandharva. Okay. It talks about music and performing arts. So Indian dances, Indian music comes out of this. You've done Nada Yoga, right? So
Right.
even that comes out of this.
Yeah. Very ancient yoga practice, one of the oldest.
Yeah.
The Nada yoga. No.
Yeah. And then there is Shilpa Shastra. Um, this talks about economics, statecraft, and architecture. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is
What is
self-explanatory. Architecture. So architecture, we know there's a Indian science, occult science. It's called Vastu, which is a sacred architecture. It is like feng shui.
yeah. Okay. And what does syllabus mean? Or you don't know?
What?
Silvastra.
Shilpa.
The word
Shilpa. Shilpa is
Shilpashtra,
Shilpa is crafting.
crafting.
Craft.
And tra is
Shilpa.
always like a vehicle, yeah, like in mantra and in tantra and in
Shastra. Shastra is
okay, it's one word.
scripture. Scripture.
Shastra,
Shastra.
Shastra.
Shastra
Okay,
is
oh, all right,
so the scripture of sculptures.
all right. Mhm.
But it also has
Structures, maybe.
structure. So the structure of uh economy, structure of a
Yeah.
state, structure of politics. The Vedas also talk about that. Structure of
Okay.
a house, and thus
Yeah.
architecture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Also, we have like the first teachers in the West, like Pythagoras and Plato, who started with the school of forms. You know, started geometry and mathematics with
Mm-hmm.
forms, with
Yeah.
structures.
And this 5,000 or maybe supposedly 10,000 BC old science talks about, because I've studied Vastu, and I've read the uh, shlokas, the scriptures myself, some of the verses, and the verses literally say that automatic doors. It talks about automatic doors. The
Really.
doors we have today, sensor, and it opens on its own. It talks about automatic doors and says that they should not be installed in a residence, in a house where you and I live.
Mm.
So there were
Yeah,
automatic
makes
doors,
yeah.
10,000 BC. So we had that kind of
Wow.
sophisticated science. It talks about that. It is literally written. And even if you say
Wow.
that this was added later, then how later? Not now, right? Because automatic
Yeah.
doors are like how 10 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old.
Yeah, make 50 years maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
And then the Vedangas, which are the limbs of the Vedas. 6 auxiliary disciplines that support the understanding, preservation, and proper applications of the Vedas. So
Mhm.
there's a science of pronunciation, how you pronounce it, which is shiksha, phonetics. There's grammar, vyakaran, rules of the grammar, yeah. And nirukta, which is
Right.
etymology, something we have
Cool.
to do. You gave me this habit
Yeah.
of coming up with
Yes.
of learning
Yeah,
etymology.
it's
Now
the
I'm
best.
always inquisitive
It's the
or
best
curious
because
about.
it's so
Yeah.
cool, man. Etymology is so cool because yeah, you start to understand the word so much deeper and from more perspectives,
Yeah.
because you see, it's in different cultures and different languages, it's differently used, and then you can combine all this meaning of the word to form a better understanding.
Right, right, right. And then there's Chand. Chand is also a Hindi word. A lot of these words are common in Sanskrit and Hindi. Chand is uh, prosody, which is how much you're supposed to pause after chanting
Yeah,
a certain word or word. So
yeah,
meter
it
of Vedic hymns.
it yeah, it's
How
like
to
a musical
uh,
musician
yeah,
term,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
like have
So
this
yeah,
proper beat to
pause,
hold the text.
sustain. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Chand. Kalpa, which is procedures of the ritual. And Jyotish, which is astronomy and astrology. So Vedic astrology is now getting very popular.
Yeah.
Again, 10,000 BC or 5,000, 4,000, your whatever you like, your liking of time period.
Mm.
But anyway, whichever time period you use, there were no telescopes,
Mm.
and yet
That's absolutely true.
there was
They calculate
astrology and astronomy.
so well, yeah. And they do the Siderean astrology, I would say. Now should we call it Siderean astrology? It's a bit different to the Western
Yeah.
traditional astrology, because
Mhm.
it's not fixed. It always still
Yeah.
looks at the stars and the movement
Mhm.
of the sun and the moon and everything. So in this is also where the saying "we come into the time of Aquarius" comes from, because it's
Mhm.
Siderean astrology. If we would use the Western astrology, it would never change anything. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Right.
fixed, 2,000 years fixed, but there's movement in the stars. Yeah,
Yeah. So so it's transit. It talks about transit. What the planets are like now, and what the
right.
planets were like when you were born, and at what degree were they tilted. How the how are you supposed to know without any telescopes in, in that period of time that at what angle are the
Yeah,
positions or whatever, and how could you calculate at exactly that time when you are born? How could you know that the
I think
planets are over there?
I think you can without watching the sky with telescope and everything, but it requires like highly sophisticated mathematics, and you got to know the rules of the universe. You got to know some kind of fixed, like the speed of light or something. You got to know the fixed values of things that can not be changed in the universe to calculate whatever is coming. So either they had like really sophisticated mathematics and know already the value of the speed of light and of gravitation and whatever, or someone told them, came down from the stars and told them.
No, again, it is a portion knowledge. It came out of it came not from humans, from outside.
Okay, I mean,
But still it came just fucking crazy.
maybe from pre-humans, maybe from apes, and they had like supervision and they could see like three
Moving
million
further.
kilometers in the sky.
Okay, moving further. Let's not bring the apes
Let's
to
not go
my
there.
culture. Yeah. Upanishads, again known as the Vedanta end of the Vedas, foc- focus on Gyan, knowledge. The Upanishads focus on only Gyan and not on rituals. The Atman, which is the self. Atman can be translated
Mhm.
as soul, the real me, and the Brahman, which is the ultimate reality, which can be translated as God. And the
Right.
teachings are in dialogue form.
Yeah, this is so interesting as well. Um, because you know when you have like the oldest philosophers in the West, like Plato and everything, they say always, and Socrates, they always say like the best form of the best expression of philosophy is in a dialogue form. You need that. You need like an listen and someone who asks and someone who answers.
Yeah.
It's the best
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And which is why
And also the best
the
way to
culture,
learn
and the culture,
directly from student to teacher. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah. Student to teacher, yeah. Also, the question and answer, it then evolved into Shastrat, debates. And that is
Yeah.
how the philosophies evolved.
So true. Yeah.
So there was not just one rishi who wrote everything down and the end. That is what we've been studying till now. No, it kept evolving. The rishis kept adding to it through debates and all of that.